right. That's quite the noise. Right. All right. That took exactly a minute. All right. So Dave, it's 7. It's exactly the top of the hour. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Do you want to start? I'll share my screen. I'll give a little intro and then we'll start.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay. There we go. So welcome everybody. Feel free in the chat to tell us where you're coming from. Some people are already doing that. And I'll share my screen real fast. I'll tell you a little bit about where you are in virtual space, I guess. This is the We Believe in Comics workshop, Friday night comics workshops. We've been doing them for over a year now after the Believer stopped and doing them. It was Kristen Radke who started it, and she was here last week. Anyway, we are a nonprofit comics school. You can find courses and everything we do at learn.sawcomics.org. For instance, you can find out about the courses by Leila Corman and Josh Bayer starting in January. Here in this spot next week is Yasmin Abdifard, and she's going to be doing Expressing the Self Through Character, and I love that drawing. I have no idea what to expect out of this workshop, so I'm super excited. We have some ongoing things happening lately. Georgia Weber is hosting Drawing Health every Saturday morning, and JD Lunt is going to be bringing Sustainable Diary comics. That's going to be Mondays mostly, I think. And you can find that out at learn.sawcomics.org also. And I'll tell you more about that in a second. So yeah, share on social media. Friday Night Comics is the hashtag, comics workshop. I'll post Dave's Instagram handle and all that stuff in the chat. You can join us anytime at members.sawcomics.org. We survive from tuitions and donations, and thanks to everybody who supported this event tonight by donating. Thank you. And there are lots of other ways to donate. We're starting, and we still haven't really gotten it off the ground, but a sustaining membership drive where you can provide whatever the verb is, tax deductible monthly donations. And sooner or later, we'll get that off the ground. Right now, we've been messing around with our interfaces, so we've been busy. There is Popeye saying he's going to spend all his money on a crap game, so we don't want you to do that. Anyway, so no inappropriate speech, keep it PG-13. Thanks so much. And here, oh my God, it's David Lasky. Oh, I'm so happy. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. Dave, I'm so happy you're here. And Dave's just a great cartoonist. I don't even know what to say. I'm just gonna let you all find out. But as you know, Dave, I'll be in the chat and I'll be summarizing what you do. And if you need anything from me, just holler.
Great. Thank you, Tom.
I'll be monitoring the chat for everybody else. Thanks, Dave. And I'm going to pin you and let me know if you need screen sharing or if you're not getting that or anything like that.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm David Lasky. And this little workshop is called, I think I called it Draw Like a Filmmaker. And it's a look at the different shots that you'll use in comics. But I'm going to go over 6 main shots that come from filmmaking. That's why we call them shots. But we're not using a camera, most of us, to make graphic novels and comics. It's our eyes and brain and hands that are the camera. So shots, but with the old-fashioned kind of camera. But shots is still a convenient term to use. And before we talk about shots, I'm going to talk a little bit about panel composition. But I'll also give you an overview. We're going to draw those 6 main shots that I mentioned, and then we're going to turn that drawing into a 6-panel comic by drawing over the shots that we cataloged. It'll make more sense when you see me start to do it. Okay, let me switch my camera to my document camera. And I want to show two ways of composing your panels. One way is if you have horizontal and vertical center lines, and you've got maybe a character who is pretty much in the center. They might be in 3/4 view, so they're facing in one direction, but they're just right in the center of the panel. And that's called centering, I guess. And there's nothing wrong with centering things. Stanley Kubrick did it all the time, and he made some great movies. He was really into centering. But if you move things away from center, it can really help make your compositions a little more intriguing, I guess. And you can think of, I'm not drawing very good thirds. Think of the panel divided into thirds, something like this, where you might have the guy I just drew. I don't know why. It's because I've been working with 5th graders this week. They want to see characters with spiky 80s hair, and they also want to see characters with mohawks. Mohawks are making a comeback, I think. Or actually, they never left us. Mohawks are great. I'll draw a horizon line at this lower third, and maybe there's some kind of strange building in this other third of the page. A German expressionist house is back here with a tilted doorway. So you kind of get the idea. This is in the center, and this is a guy at 1/3 of this page and a house in the other third, and the ground makes up the lower third. And there's room for speech bubbles in the top third. And when things are a little off center, it just from human psychology, we see something's a little off here. I guess from our time living in the wild, we were on the lookout for anything that looked a little bit off, and we still are, apparently. I forgot in this panel, I didn't leave a lot of room above the head for speech bubbles, so if I wanted one, I would have to squeeze it in over here. But I always recommend leaving some room above the heads. Sorry, my camera's gone out of focus. Come on, camera. If I switch back to myself, it will go into focus. I recommend, don't draw the heads right up to the top of the panel if you want to have some room for narration or speech bubbles. I call that the ceiling space of comics panels. So let's say that's a caption box. So that's, in a nutshell, that's a little bit about panel composition. But now I'm going to switch to a clean sheet of paper for the main event. And this is where, if you haven't started doodling, you'll want to start drawing along with me. And this is going to be our final drawing, or it can be. I'm going to go over 6 shots, but then I'm also going to turn it into a 1-page, 6-panel comic. And this is kind of a constraint. Matt Madden was teaching a SAW workshop a few weeks ago, and I'm such a huge Matt Madden fan and constraint fan. So this is kind of a constraint where you're cataloging shots, but then you're going to turn it into a 6-panel comic as well, which I think will help you remember the shots even better. So I'm drawing a row of 3 panels on top. The first panel is almost square shaped, and the second 2 are more rectangular. I'm going to do the same below with kind of a small rectangle or square, a longer second panel, and conclude with a large panel, the largest of all the panels. So you'll want to have a grid, something like this, and we're drawing in light pencil. I hope my pencil is showing up on camera. Actually, I'll draw these panels
There
darker
you go.
now.
Wow. Magic.
I have these drawing with a Faber-Castell Durer colored pencil. So I find that it shows up really nicely on camera for zoom type things like this.
People were asking in the chat, they're like, what kind of pencil is that? Everyone thinks it's magic, right?
I don't actually use this pencil very often drawing comics unless it's on Zoom, but they are fun to draw with. Nice black grainy lines.
So just to be clear, we should make 6 panels like that. To me, they're roughly all square, but if you're saying the last one should be a little longer or something,
Yeah,
I get it.
these are a little more shorter, and then the last panels are the biggest. And they could be all equally sized panels too. So I'll give everyone a second to finish your panels. And I'm going to get started with panel 1. I'm going to draw a circle. Sorry, my camera keeps going out of focus. There we go. I'm going to draw people in these panels and these shots, but I'm going to not draw details. I'm not drawing them as characters yet, just kind of generic circle face people with just 2 dots for eyes and a mouth. I'm sorry, this camera's going out of focus. I'm not sure. Well, I know it's because usually the end of the pencil gets too close to the camera and it focuses on the pencil for whatever reason. Anyway,
so we should draw a sort of simple character.
Yeah, just kind of a blobby face and shoulders. This is a close-up shot, and you can label it underneath if you want to. We've all heard of close-up. It's where in movies and TV, where the camera just focuses on an actor or character's face, and usually some of their shoulders, or it could go right up to their face, but not too close. And I've left some room in the top for a speech bubble, because we're going to make this into a narrative comic, so leave room for speech bubbles, maybe some caption boxes or thought bubbles. In the next shot, I'm going to do the same thing, but circle or oval head and rectangle body for 2 characters. Oh man, my camera's driving me crazy here.
Good now, though.
So these are 2 characters from about the waist up, and they are in some kind of conversation with each other. Maybe one has their arms or their hands on their hips. And this is the medium shot.
Is one of these the same as the last, and does it matter which?
Yeah, I think when we make this into a comic, these will be 2 characters in a continuous dialogue or narrative. So this close-up is going to be one of these characters, probably this one, but I'm not sure yet. For now, we're just making generic um, stand-ins for actual characters. And then in this next panel, I'm going to draw my circles and rectangles for head and torso, and then I think could have them standing together, but I'm going to have them walking with each other instead. And I'm going to think of, sorry about my camera. I'm going to think of rule of thirds and make the ground behind them about 1/3. So that's less than a third. 1/3 into the panel, and okay, there's something over here maybe. I don't know yet what. And this is a long shot where we're seeing the characters in full figure. And we see the setting and some of the background, which we don't know what it is yet. This could be just having a line behind them. It could be indoors, and that's the floor and the wall, or it could be outdoors. It's the sky and the ground. And these are the 3 main shots you'll use much of the time. If you look at newspaper comic strips, there's a lot of medium shots because it's a good way to show 2 characters in conversation. The close-up is a good way to show a character's emotion, usually reacting to something that's happened. So I tend to save my close-up for when I really need some kind of emotional expression, and I use more medium shots combined with long shots in comics where people are interacting with each other. But there's 3 other shots that are related to these shots that you might want to use once in a while as well, though probably less often. So in this 4th panel, I'm going to draw a portion of a face with a couple of eyes, a nose, and part of a mouth. So we're looking at a close-up, but it's going way into part of someone's face. And that's extreme close-up, which you may have heard of. Jack Kirby used a lot of extreme close-ups later in his career because the drama was always pretty high in Jack Kirby's later comics. This is an intense moment, and you'll probably want to save it for a really intense part of your story. You might not even need it because it's so intense when you get that close to a character's face. But it can be a lot of fun to use. And I'll switch to the last panel right now and say the opposite of the extreme close-up. You might guess it's the extreme long shot. And I'm going to think of rule of thirds, but draw my horizon line in the top third and maybe have some mountains in the background. And there's some forests in the middle ground. And there's kind of a river flowing way in the back. I don't know. And our characters are just tiny. They might even be dots. They might even not be visible at all. Like if your extreme long shot was a city skyline, you might just see a speech bubble coming from one of the buildings. And that's what one of your characters is saying in the office building where they are. You see that sometimes in old soap opera comic strips in the newspaper, city skyline and just a speech bubble coming out of it. This extreme long shot can be fun for ending a story, maybe an epic story where you want to pull way back. But it's also can be a great way to show the wider landscape that the characters are in. It can be just a nice way to change it up once in a while. That's a lot of the reason I love um, using these different shots, is that it makes your page look interesting. It makes it interesting for the reader to get different views. Um, when I first started drawing comics, one of my very earliest mini comics was just close up every panel, close up, close up, close up. Because I just, was interested in what the characters were saying, I guess, and what their facial expressions were. And I brought it to San Diego Comic Con in 1991, where you could just walk up to a window and pay admission and go into San Diego Comic Con. And I was showing off my minis, and this one guy at a publisher was like, this is all close-ups. You're just showing the characters' faces. You need to change the views of your shots, and it's more interesting that way. And I thought, he's so wrong. What does he know? But then the next day or two, I was like, oh, actually, he's right. And I started learning how to do different shots, and it's made my comics all the better for it. So I've got one more panel, medium shot variation. Is there an extreme medium shot? No, because medium is just always medium. But you can do a variation where we see one character a lot closer, like really close. This is their head and their shoulders. And then another character in back. And this character who's really close, we're seeing them from the back. This is the back of their head, and they're facing another character in front of them. And we're looking over their shoulder. So this is the over the shoulder shot. And these are, there are lots of other shots, especially in filmmaking. And there's lots of other shots that cartoonists will use, and some people will call the extreme long shot the bird's eye view, and then they'll have the low angle view, and the long shot is sometimes called the establishing shot, because you can establish where things are, especially if it's an opening panel or splash page. So establishing shot is another name for that. Close-up can be close-up on things, like if you want to show somebody's holding a pencil, that's kind of a close-up. So there's many variations that you'll use, but if you think of these three, it will really help you when you're trying to think, how should I draw this next panel? And you've got these three main views that are kind of the standards, and then three variations. And once you are using them, you kind of don't even think about it anymore. Just intuitively, like, okay, let's do the close-up now. You don't have to think too hard about it. So I hope these shots are helpful when you make your comics. Now we're going to do the challenge. Can you turn this catalog of shots into a narrative 6-panel comic? So figure out who are the two characters you want to star in this. And I've been drawing a cat and a duck character lately who talk to each other, and because I've been working with 5th graders, it's a good go-to, cat and duck. So I'm going to do my characters as a cat and a duck. Then we want to think, what's the story? And I've got a way to start this off. Now, I mentioned that the close-up is normally a reaction shot or showing an emotion. When you start a story with a close-up, it could just be some kind of bland, hey, let's go for a walk. That would be okay, but we've only got 6 panels, so let's really get something interesting started here. I'm thinking a good suggestion is the characters say, "You did what?"
Oh, jump right into it.
Yeah, with question mark, exclamation mark. So I'm going to
Should,
want to change the expression from just a little grin to something of surprise here.
if we're stumped, should we start there with you did what?
Yeah, you can start your comic with that or start it with whatever dialogue you want, but I'm going to start mine with you did what? And let's see, I'll say that this is the cat talking, so I'm going over mine in ink now, just so it's more visible over the pencil lines. For you drawing at home, if you've drawn your shots in light pencil, you can just draw a darker pencil over top of it. Don't worry about using ink necessarily. Or if you're working digitally, you can just do layers, right? Okay. So I've got my cat saying, "You did what?" And the reader's like, "What? What are we talking about here?" I kind of am taking this from a writer. I went to see a writer talk in the 90s, and I'm forgetting his name at the moment. He's an Irish writer, and he said the best advice he could give to writers is once you've finished your writing, take away the beginning and take away the end of what you wrote. Um, and so obviously there was something earlier in this conversation, but we're jumping right into you did what? And okay, I'm going to decide. Next, I have to decide what is it the other character did. And I know my other character is a duck. I'm just going to go for, you want something outrageous? I'm going to go full on bizarre and say the duck ate a tree, ate a whole tree. And the cat's like, you did what?
I
And I'm
can't believe you're
gonna
going to turn that character into a duck. I want to see that happen.
Duck's gonna say, it's not so weird. Lots of people eat trees. So that statement provides some context for the reader of what the duck did. Oops. And you don't have to go with eat a tree. You can have whatever, go with whatever narrative direction you want to go for this. Um, and the cat is saying, no. Lots of people do not eat trees. I'm going to make the duck actually shorter than my rough draft was. Cat is. Cat's maybe slightly taller than the duck. Think,
What's even weirder is the duck is referring to itself as people.
right. Animals are people too, I guess. Or maybe these are actually people and I'm drawing them with animal heads like Art Spiegelman would do. Okay. You might want to draw a little bit of background in that panel. I'm going to decide that they are outdoors. They're going for a walk together. So I'm just going to draw some generic shrubbery behind them. Right, and so this my story about the duck eating a tree. I planned this beforehand, but now I can't remember what actually happens. So we've established that the duck did eat a tree, and the cat's kind of disgusted by it, and we have to now going to a long shot and just continue the conversation in some way. And I'm just gonna have the duck just go fully into defending themselves. Actually, I'll write the dialogue first. Um, and say the leaves are a lot like salad, which is true.
Love that you put this moment of movement in panel 3, right? So like the story isn't just going to be in one place. It's going to move at least from where it was to a new location, even if it's slightly.
Mm-hmm. I think I like in Harvey Picar's comics where he's walking and thinking or walking and talking with somebody, and this makes a conversation more interesting visually when there's that movement. Yeah. I'm just going to draw a simple house in the background just to show that they're in some kind of a neighborhood. Okay, darkening the house, I gave it too much attention. I'm going to darken the duck's pants in the hopes that that will bring attention over towards the duck. Maybe they're walking on a sidewalk. I'll mention anytime you put diagonal lines into a panel, you increase the sense of space. It's always a nice trick to create some space. Hopefully everybody's moving along with your conversation between your two characters. So I've got my extreme close-up, and this is where the duck says that it's the wood that's really hard to get down. I'll emphasize the word wood. You're starting to wonder, why did the duck even do this? And I don't know. And I've got a human extreme close-up face. I need to rework that into a duck's face here. Maybe a few sweat drops on the forehead. Extreme close-up is a really good place to show sweat drops on the forehead. By now the cat's just thinking, who is this person? This is not the duck I knew. Who does this? Let's see. We're getting close to the end. I've got 2 panels, and you've got 2 panels. And I think it's really time for the cat to come in and say, this is just weird, my friend, Mr. Duck. So I don't know who I want to be seen from the back. I think because the cat has such a distinctive silhouette with the ears, I'm going to make it the cat who's speaking from the back. And it's shaded in. It's nice with an over-the-shoulder shot if you have that person from the back in silhouette or heavy shadow. Adds some visual weight to the page. Let's see here. Quickly draw in the duck patiently listening. The cat is asking the reasonable question, why not leave the trees alone and just eat, vegetables and grains?
I feel like you're setting up a riddle, David. I wonder what.
Yeah, it's I want some kind of concluding statement in the last panel, so I'm having a question here to be answered. I didn't even think of it that way, but that's what I'm doing. The cat is the sensible one here. So I'm making this pretty sloppy. This is basically a rough draft, and I would, if I was going to, if this was in pencil and I was going to ink it later, I would probably get a ruler and make these panels a little neater, and especially rule some thin pencil lines under all the lines of lettering so that when I ink the lettering, it comes out a bit nicer. So I hope you're progressing along with your 2-person conversation, and maybe it's even more outrageous than eating a tree. I hope so. I'm really interested to see where your conversation goes, or it might be just a civil conversation between 2 reasonable people. I've got an extreme long shot, and the duck has to answer this question. So got a lot of speech bubble taking up a lot of the panel. I um, might take out those mountains and just have some kind of tree silhouettes in the background. I don't know. So what I originally wrote, the duck says, vegetables and grains, you live such a dull, sheltered life. Live a little. And I realized after I wrote this, I've got live, life, and live all in the same speech bubble. I decided I should change up some words. So I'm going to say, instead of you live such a dull, sheltered life, you lead such a dull, sheltered life. And instead of life, maybe existence. You lead such a dull, sheltered existence. Live a little. That way, live a little has its own emphasis, and it's not repeating the word live again. So, existence. It came out really sloppy, but I would, redo this if I was making a more finished version. I probably will make a more finished version because I like this duck and cat character and their weird conversations. Let's say they're continuing to walk through this residential neighborhood, and they're still on a sidewalk. And the fact that it's an extreme long shot kind of is a nice way to show visually that this comic strip is coming to an end, and you even have a little sun setting on the horizon. The sunset is a classic way of saying our story is ending, which we borrow from films, from filmmakers. In fact, the first time I met Sherry Flanagan, that was one tip she gave me. You don't know how to show that the story's ending, draw a sunset. That's what they do in the movies. And it's not bad advice.
Awesome.
So that's the end of my strip. I'm really curious to know if this crazy constraint worked out for other people here.
Let's ask. I'll ask people to raise their hand if they want to share. You want to take a look, Dave?
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll let a moment or two go for people to share. Okay, some people are coming on. There we go. Starting to come up. Okay, great. So we'll start with Alice and Nina, then Sarah, then Michaela. But I'm going to have to ask you all to unmute. So watch for that little cue, and then I'll spotlight you. So let's see. There we go. And so we'll start with Alex.
Okay. David, great prompts. This was really fun. So mine is actually a tension when I was an adolescent with my mother, basically fessing up that my friend and I had almost gotten hit by a train. And because I got yelled at, I kind of never told her anything again. So that was the drama. But I love the close up and moving out as a reflection of the emotion of the character. So thank you. Very cool. Very fun.
I love that you have color, and that over the shoulder shot with the kind of expressionistic brushwork is so great. It feels extra dramatic for that.
It was, yeah, scary. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Awesome. Thanks so much. We'll go to Nina.
Am I unmuted? Okay.
Yes.
This was great, David. I just did this spur of the moment, no idea, which is what came into my head. So the character says, what did you do? And then the other character says, it's not that weird. I had an inspiration. And then that same character says, and there was a marker just lying there. And then the close-up reaction is, you did that on public property? And then the other character says, chill out, it's art. And then the ultimate thing is, in a million years, maybe it'll be like the cave paintings in France.
Nice.
So, turned it into graffiti in a tunnel.
Nicely done. I was wondering as we went along, how is Nina going to end this? And that's a great ending. So there kind of ending.
The future.
Yeah.
Thanks, David.
Awesome.
Thank you for sharing. This is great.
All right, we'll go to Sarah next.
No.
Hey, everybody. Here's mine. It's kind of blurry. This was really fun. I started mine with, your brother did what? And then he says, like broke. And he says, oh yeah, it's bad. Come see. And then he says, he's not supposed to play on the trampoline when our parents aren't home. And then his shocked expression is, you just left him there? And he said, you should probably call 911. And then he says, are you nuts? They'll kill me. Let's just go fishing. That's right. And then on their slow walk fishing, he says, you're really not worried at all? And he says, nah, he's a pain in the butt. So that was fun. I really appreciated it.
Nicely done. And that conversation feels very realistic, like real slice of life.
Yeah.
Kids.
And it was totally out of nowhere. So that was a great exercise. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you.
Awesome, Sarah. Thanks. We'll go to Michaela next. Let's see your place.
It's Michaela.
Michaela, sorry.
So I was inspired by my character Cool Dog. So he's saying, you did what? And he has a nemesis, Cool Cat, of course. And Cool Cat says, lots of people have done a kickflip off Mount Rushmore. He says, well, I haven't. And then he says, Tony Hawk and I got bored in South Dakota. And of course, Cool Dog's skateboarding here. Tony Hawk, yeah, we're buds. And it's just a regular hawk. And then Cool Dog skateboards off and says, you're the worst. And then Tony Hawk flies away and goes, caw.
That's so great. I love the Cool Dog with the bandana. And I think you took the animal thing and made it even cooler than my cat and duck.
Yeah, I've been doing these guys for years. Nice. I had to.
And the Tony Hawk gag, that's awesome.
Kayla, is that a Polaroid camera on your right?
It is. Yeah, me and my boyfriend both love Polaroids. He's a Polaroid photographer. He does tons of Polaroid photos.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thanks so much. Okay, we'll go to Walter next. Let's see. Walter. There we go.
Okay, am I there? So I did not start with the correct or the given prompt. Started with where is he? Because the other person was coming in. And that's supposed to be some kind of dystopian background. Are you ready? Yep. And I was mostly concerned with just the quick sketching. Let's go to a door. The close-up nervousness. I can't believe we're doing this. grabbing the door over the shoulder. And it's nice outside.
Excellent.
Just a little happy ending for a change.
I like the eye patch and just the kind of
Yeah, I don't know
ominous
why he had
feeling.
an eye patch.
The dystopia.
Right.
Awesome.
Nice work. I love seeing where some generic panels of shots are leading everybody.
Yeah. So we'll go to Megan next. If Megan will come on screen. There we go. Oh wait, I gotta ask you to unmute. Sorry about that. And there we go.
Hello. So I didn't do 6 panels, but I tried to take the cinematic. This is work. Work has, I kind of based the character off of a character that came out of a workshop. So work is at work. It was you. You're the only one who could have. And you've caused me a lot of trouble. I ought to. Work walks off, angry work expression, and then I make fun of corporations.
So do we know what it was that was done?
I didn't get that far, to be perfectly honest, but I'm sure we've all been sort of privy to someone ranting at us for something where we're sort of blamed, but we have absolutely no idea what happened.
Yeah, I love that sense of mystery, how you don't even reveal it. And I'm wondering, maybe I should have let the reader wonder what it was the duck did for a few more panels before I reveal they ate a tree.
It's like
thank you for
Paul
sharing
Simon
that.
song. David, it's like the Paul Simon song. What the mother saw, it was against the law. Never says what it is. All right, we'll go to Mickey next. There we go.
Hi, it's Nikki. So I did all the 6 panels, and actually when I started filling stuff in, I just kind of did my little sketch of myself. And then ended up making the whole panel that actually I just moved to Seattle. So it's about me moving to Seattle, and it starts with character talking off screen, asking, "Hey, are you still with me?" Responding with, "Yeah." You know, you can't keep zoning out. Why? Well, I won't always be here to help you. Close up, what do you mean? Followed by, I mean, it's time for me to go, with the pull away scene of me in Seattle being in a safe place now.
Yay. That's great. And welcome to Seattle, by the way.
Thank you.
Well done.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mickey. We have Jeannie next. Can we ask to unmute? And
It's nice to see that extreme long shot as a reveal in a lot of these comics.
Wow, those have all been really, really great. Thank you, David. This has been really fun. It's really great to think about the cinematic approach. So I didn't do a lot of words in this one. There's not a lot of dialogue, but it starts off with where? And that's my chicken. And then a corporate logo you might recognize. And then this is my chicken with TNT under her wing. And then this character's getting an idea what might be happening. And it is indeed what's going to happen, because that's where the TNT is. And then there they are, running away. The chicken place, all blown up.
Yikes. That art is so beautifully finished for the small amount of time. There's even color and some shading. Beautiful job.
it's like Steinberg meets Godard.
Ah.
Thanks.
Thank
all
you,
right.
Jeannie.
Thank you.
We'll go to Mary next, and then Angie, and then Mishka. Let's see if Mary's there. All right, Mary's there. Oops, I gotta ask to unmute. And place.
I'm trying to unmute.
There we go.
I keep getting these pop-ups. I don't know, someone else might have to read this because, or I could maybe read it backwards.
I
So
can.
I'm saying, you want to go ahead?
Is that okay, David? Should I read it?
Sure.
Sure. It says, where did you go? Well, I was in jail for a while. Not sure if I'm reading it with the right intonations, but I guess we'll find out. You? I mean, what for? Breaking and entering. Mom, oh, that's really good. I love an improv class. That's terrific. Mom, what's that? That's not you. Why? Well, I would hardly call it a crime, but they thought otherwise. Uh-oh, here's the reveal, I guess. Well, I was out of chocolate and everything was closed. And they're on like some beach scene, Miami.
Based on a true story.
That's fantastic. And in color.
That was fun. I always
Beautifully
wait to
drawn.
raise my hand so I can lay down some color because, you know, the drawing is so quick and dirty. So
And that extreme close-up with Mom, that's so perfect.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Mary. And it's a good reminder for everybody to share on social media if you can, Instagram or anywhere, and let us see them again. We'll go to Andrea next.
Hi.
Hi.
It's so good to see you again, David.
Nice to see you.
I did not quite finish lettering, so I'm going to read it. So, no way. You did not. I did. I climbed Mount Everest yesterday. I find that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. There's some sweat beads because I loved that idea. He's messing with me again. How was it? Adjusting to the altitude. What? Oh, I didn't have to. I put my mind to it and kept my body here in town.
Nice.
That's really.
Again, the extreme close-up, nicely done, of that feeling when you know somebody's lying, just blatantly lying. Like, "Argh." Great job.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Hiya. Oh, it's so dark. Okay, here's the whole thing. Let's get a little bit more sunlight on it. Okay. This is a conversation I had with my best friend who's in the Bahamas. And he said, "You saw who?" And then I forgot we were doing different shots. So I first drew me there, but here's us talking. And I say, "Yes, her." And I did so intentionally. But why would you do such a thing? So the why is a big thundercloud sort of striking. I thought you hated her or hated each other. I thought you hated each other. And then I say, I don't know. I guess I was just bored. It was my birthday weekend and I was lonely. My family refused to go out into the rain. And out of nowhere, she wrote, "Hey, I'm in SF with Chip. Want to meet up?" And then I'm glad I went. Where is it? There it is. I'm glad I went. I'll just tell you the rest of the story. She's dating her crush from 3rd grade through high school. We did drive-bys together. They're together. And then my friend answered, "Whoa, no way. It's like a rom-com."
That's such a great extreme close-up, and I love all the things you did with lettering in this. It's really creatively placed.
I was really worried because my friend hates this person. It was like, I don't know, don't be mad at me.
Great story, Mishka. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to Sally and then Cheryl and Lizzie. Let's see.
Great. Hi there.
Hey,
Hi,
Sally.
Daniel. This is so fun. Okay, so you did what? I went rogue and flew north for the fall. You're nuts. It was great. Almost zero traffic. It sounds super unhealthy. What did you eat? People up there throw seeds on the ground. I've always wanted to depend upon the kindness of strangers. I don't know. I'm just trying to get two different kinds of birds. So
That's such a great concept of, I went, it's the off season up north. I went and
yeah, I
didn't
got
have
it
to
mixed
deal with
around
that.
when I first wrote it, so I had to fix it.
Nicely
Sally.
done.
Thanks so much. We'll go to
Thank
Cheryl.
you. Hey, Cheryl.
Hey. So I have a turtle and she says, "What happened?" And then I have this rabbit who's in kind of two different colored ink. Not sure. Maybe I've got something in my bag. Aha. And then I also lost my words.
Really fun use of limited color for those 3D glasses.
And is that in 3D, that last panel? Actually in two?
It's like this pen that has two different nibs on it.
Wow. I kind of want to have 3D glasses now to read this comic and see how trippy the last panel gets.
Yeah. Thank you.
Just super cute turtle character too. Really polished drawing for such a quick exercise.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl.
We'll go to Lizzie if Lizzie's there. Let's see. Oh, I got to ask to unmute. I always forget that part. And there we go.
Hey. I just added some color. You're from where? From the future. So it's kind of just me talking to myself in the future or from the past. I just thought I'd come back and chat with you a bit. You seem lost, and they're kind of just like trekking through the desert. Oh, it's hard to read. Well, you're not wrong about that. So what can you tell me about what I'm going through now? Well, just that you're on the right track. Keep it up, bud. Just a personal
Nice.
thing.
I love the limited color in this one too, and that over the shoulder where the other person's kind of halfway turned around. That's so great. It feels so natural the way people pose when they're walking and talking in a landscape.
I really like that you were like had them kind of walking somewhere, like a journey kind of thing.
Yeah, nicely done.
Thanks.
Thanks for sharing.
Cool, Lizzie. Thank you. We'll go to Nicole next. Nicole, Ken, Stefan, and then Jamie to close out.
Thanks so much. It's such a great these are great prompts. So it's sort of half inked language, but I'll just read it, I think. I realized something today. All the stuff I obsess about doesn't matter, and all the stuff that matters I never even think about. All this time I just chased after things to give my life meaning, while ignoring the whole point of being on this earth. You mean unconditional love and compassion? No, making comics, but that works too. Oh, right.
Yay, comics.
Thanks. This is great.
That's such a great, deep conversation, and then a funny contrast in what their values really are. Great job.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. We'll go to Ken next. Here
we go. Okay. So here's mine. Is that coming through okay? Okay.
Yes.
So it's can I take off the blindfold yet? No, it will ruin the surprise. And then they're walking along. How much further? Almost there. And it's awfully cold. Don't tell me we're in, yes, Antarctica.
excellent extreme long shot.
Also, I wanted to go for the extreme. I was inspired.
And the blindfold is a hilarious idea.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ken.
Thanks.
All right. And Stefan is here. So
Hi.
Stefan, happy birthday on a day.
Hey, happy birthday to you, David.
Thank you.
And to EC Seagar.
That's right.
That's right. We all had our birthdays yesterday.
Oh.
So I made this, and I'm going to read it to you. You did what? I dropped your ring of charisma, and now I think it's lost. It kept changing size on me. Tiny, extra, extra large. I think it slipped off here. I don't see it. I need a charisma boost. I could use it right now, in fact. Oh, now, take a deep breath. It's got to be around.
That's so beautiful. And the fact that the charisma ring is changing size as your panels are changing views. Great way to work the constraint into the story. Brilliant
Thanks.
as ever, Mr. Gruber.
Wow, thank you. And this has been a very fun, generative hour. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
everyone.
Happy birthday, Stefan.
Happy birthday.
Okay, we'll go to Vicky next.
Hey there. There might be a lot of background noise because I'm in a hospital cafeteria, but thank you so much for doing this on Friday nights. What a great escape. I didn't know. Oh, how could you? You're not God. I'm not God. But I could have been kinder. So now you know. Kindness. Go ahead. Forgive yourself.
I love that so much.
Thank you. Thank you
And
so
the-
much.
Beautifully written. And the background noise was actually a great part of your reading. It felt like cinema verite. Thank you.
Thanks, Vicky. Okay, we'll go to Lynn. Here we go. And then Marlene, and then Jane.
Hi. Okay, so I've been playing around with this, and I did one that was about two people breaking up, and that's kind of boring. And then I thought, okay, I have this big dog, and so I just started doing it with marker, but here it is. It's it's a mirror image. Okay, what did you do? That's no. Bad dog. And I'm holding my hands on my head, and he's kind of looking with his ears poking out all which ways. And the chair is torn up. There's toilet paper all over the floor, torn shoes, the works. And there he is making that face, that's sweet. But I love you. It was fun face. Here I'm telling him, go to your place. And in the last one, long shot, the living room, everything's all cleaned up. He's in his kennel, and I'm sitting at the table with a glass of wine. My life.
Great job. And again, you've used the long shots to reveal things visually really well.
Thank
And
you.
that dog seeking sympathy face is so great.
Here, take a look. Here, you can see. Where is he? Jasper. That's
Hi,
him.
Jasper.
Here, show your
Aw.
face. There he is. Like,
Aw,
he's
hello,
a
Jasper.
monster dog.
Aw. Thank you for sharing, and hello, Jasper.
That over the shoulder shot, like pointing at the dog is great too.
Yeah, and he's looking back at me over his shoulder. He's like slinking off.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. We'll go to Marlene next. Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Tom. I am very aware of the shots. I try to, draw them. And for lack of not knowing what to do, I did a boxing match, an imaginary one. So first off, these are two friends who are trying to emulate Muhammad Ali. And the one with the black hair says, "Take a chill pill before we start, mate." And then the next caption is they trying to use the same phrases that he used. And he says, "Oh, I've got to practice. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee." And so I drew a little butterfly in the background just to make it a bit more fun. And then the third one over here in the boxing ring. And you notice with the hairstyles, that is the mullet. Is that the right one?
Mohawk.
Tomahawk hairstyle. And he says, "Oh, a jab, a hook, and then walk." So he's just making a bit of fun walking around in the boxing ring. Then over here, unfortunately, the little guy punches out the big guy, and you can see the sweat droplets around his face, and I used some action markers. Speed, power, and quick reflexes is what did it. I got him squarely on the chin, and you can see him lying down. So going from a close-up to a mid-shot to another close-up, this is what I'm trying to depict. And finally, there's this young lady walking with a number 6 number to show everyone that this little guy who was called number 6 had won the game. And so she says, "Our winner, everyone, is number 6. Not only is he a technician, but he's a boxer and a little bit like Muhammad Ali."
That's a great way to end it, with the number over her head. Are you a boxing fan, or was this just a random idea?
A random idea. I didn't know what to do. So I thought, yeah, let me have a stab at boxing. And, you know, sort of think about, my husband is into it. And I remember some of the things he said about boxing, David.
That's a great improv just to take that on. So I admire you, and the coloring is beautiful.
Thank you.
Great work. Thank you, Marlene.
Thanks, Marlene.
Thank you, Tom.
Sure. So we'll go to Jamie if Jamie's around. I don't know. I might have to go searching for her. Let's
Hold
see.
on. Hold on. I'm here. I got to do the thing. Wait here. All right. Sorry. I'm never getting good at this. It's some things are you're good at, and Zoom is not one of them. Okay. So this is dumb. Somebody was like, "Oh, I was going to do one about a breakup, but that was stupid." Well, I kept going with it. So, hold on here. Tom, you might have to read it. I don't know if you can. Hold on. Wait a second. Okay, wait. Okay. Oh no, I can read it. Okay, look. That's the first one. His wet pizza tasted sad. Okay. Then the second one, he remembered his slice, forgot his umbrella. And she's like, "Really? Another slice?" And then it's a big enough umbrella, but it's always him that ends up getting wet. And she's like, "Why do I stay with you, you fat drip?" It's a very positive comic, as you can tell. His confidence lost, like tears in the rain. That's my little Blade Runner. Hi, Blade Runner. I miss you, Rutger Hauer, every day. He was the coolest platinum blonde since me. Okay, just kidding. All right, but it suddenly came back. His confidence. And he goes, "I get no respect. I'm sick of it. End of you. Give it." So he tries to take back her umbrella. And then the final panel, instant karma finds her. Hold on. And the lightning struck her. And then he says, "Ha ha, fry witch." So there you go. Leading you to believe she made fun of him for eating French fries as well. All right, that's my comic. Thank you. This was so fun.
Thank you, Jamie. So many great pop culture references. I'm just dazzled by what you were able to squeeze in there. And panel 1 by itself is just so classic. His wet pizza tasted sad.
Thank you.
You kind of could have stopped at panel 1 and it's already a masterpiece right there.
Right.
Great job.
Maybe I'll redo it better with a little less scribbling. Thank you.
Beautiful work.
Awesome. Dave, thanks so much. I'm going to ask everybody to unmute so we can all say thank you properly. You got so many, it was so interesting that that final panel revealed so much information and so many comments. It's like a mystery a lot of times.
Yeah, I was dazzled and inspired.
That was really
wonderful.
Great. Really great.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank
you.
so much. Such a good teacher.
Thank you so
much.
So sophisticated.
Yes. Everybody. Good night.
Thank you. I posted a bunch of links in the chat. You can find Dave on Instagram and post what you did. Dave, I'll show you what I did later. It was about poop.
Okay. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here, and thank you, Saw, for hosting this. This is always great to do a Saw workshop.
Yay. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Bye.